Hey everyone, my name is GameStash, and welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial series. In the previous part, we planned the war against Byzantium. All the preparations are now done, so let's continue and fight this war. So let's just take this army. As you can see, we have a 8k stack right over here. Let's assign a general. Just wipe them out. I could technically hire another general, but this would cost me 50 military power, and increasing my tech is a bit of a higher priority for me at the moment. So I'm not going to do that just yet. And I'm gonna send my ships back here and hope they don't get fucking destroyed. Oh fuck, I've been going a bit too fast. Let's just slow down the pace. And of course they are fucking fleeing. So yeah, there's battle going on over there. And we won. Very nice. Got a naval battle, but of course we're winning this one. Also very nice. So we're both sieging this province and this province. Uh-oh. 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 That's not good. Yeah, that was a bit of a fault on my end. I should have already put my ships in this strait before I started the war. So that's a bit of a dumb thing. But that doesn't really matter because we're going to win this war anyway. It's only going to slow down the sieges, because if you are sieging, fuck off. If you're sieging near a port or on a coastline, you can send your ships there to blockade, and this will increase the speed. So we have a event. Let's see this. What I most of the time do, I just don't really read it because I don't really care. Let's just see this. We move to mysticism, and this means to legal. I haven't really told you anything about mysticism and legalism yet. So if you go to religion, you have current piety, and this goes from -100 to +100. And if you're at -100, you're at mysticism. That gives the effects you can see on the screen right now. So +3 missionary strength, +10% morale of armies, +20% fort defense. But if you go to the other way, you get legalism, and you have more national tax modifier, more manpower, and less technology cost. I usually go for legalism because it just gives you more money, and I think the technology costs are really nice to have, to reduce technology costs. But in these types of events, I just pick whatever is less shit. So this costs me ducats and this doesn't, and it happens to move me towards legalism, so I'm just going to pick this one. Okay, let's continue the war. Let's see if the Moldavian troops are already here, pissing me the fuck off or not. So no, I haven't seen anyone yet, so yeah, I don't really care. Fuck off. So I get the choice of just picking between legalism and mysticism. Let's just go with legalism. And I've got an access request. So we got Akhonyulu, who is at war with Fadl, and I believe Fadl is here. Hajaz, which is here. Ramazan and the Mamluks. Since Mamluks are my rivals, in these cases, I mostly just consider who is my rival and who do I not want to help. So in this case, if I accept, I'm helping Akhonyulu, who is at war with the Mamluks. So I'm basically helping them against the Mamluks in some sense. So I accept this. Military exit from Provence, they are at war with England. So England hates me, yeah, so let's just accept that so they can kick England's ass, hopefully, but not likely. So they're being very annoying and going in my land, but just taking a couple of provinces, which is not really that big of a deal because they do not have a fort. Damn, I only have one galley left. That's fucked up. So we got the fort. One thing that's also very important when fighting a war is to siege the forts and not to leave while you're sieging, because that will reduce your progress, of course. It will reset that in some sense. While you're sieging a fort, their devastation goes up, and that the higher the devastation, the faster your sieges. So in some sense you could siege and just leave and then come back, and the siege would go faster, but of course not leaving at all would be the fastest way to finish it. Let's just quickly take this province back, because you could just say, well, just ignore this province and just go on with the war, take the lands and just end it there. But what the hell is this? Uh-oh. Long live the Sultan. Only time can tell what kind of ruler Mahmud I will be. We've got a new Sultan that kind of sucks, because our previous Sultan was really nice. And now we got this 112 guy. Well, fuck it. Never mind. So as I was saying, you could consider just to let this province be in hands of the enemy, which is not really that big of a deal at first, but the longer time an enemy has control of your territories, the more your, war exhaustion will increase. And if your war exhaustion increases, your national unrest increases, and that increases the chance of having an uprising. So now we have plus 1.75 because of 1.7 war exhaustion. Something that's also only available at when playing the Ottomans is that you can choose what kind of a ruler your ruler is. So you can just basically pick give me money, give me tolerance of the true faith, but also get 20 legalism, or class get 1 yearly prestige but move 20% or move 20 to mysticism. I usually just go for extra money because it just allows me to build more troops. So this province doesn't have forts, so we're quite quickly done there. So let's just move on to this and stack wipe them. Well, not really stack wipe them, just kill them, and then just go back there again. Because doing this, you can see this red. You can see this bar is totally red, meaning their morale is very low. So if we attack now, there's quite a good chance of stack wiping them, which indeed has happened. So now just go over to this province and let's just siege this one. I am honestly a bit confused as to why Moldavia hasn't entered my country yet. Oh, of course, it has suddenly become a vassal of Poland. So it can only be in a war with me if Poland is in a war with me. So that's kind of nice. I just recently see that it turned red. That means the agent has been discovered, and it will decrease my spy network. So that's just stop building it. It returns. And if you want to increase it again, you can send it again after a year or so, or half a year. So let's just skip forward to the end of both sieges. So we want to siege of Constantinople, only siege as is in Moria. Now I got an event that lets me pick between losing diplo power and prestige, and since it's early game, I want to save all my points because I want to advance quickly in tech. Losing prestige, it only brings it down to 1, which of course is not optimal, but I'm in a war which I'm about to end, and ending a war will give you prestige if you're going to win. So let's just stick to prestige here. And as you can see, you will usually get a peace offer request from your enemy when you're totally beating their ass, but it's mostly not what you want. Just right click it and it will dismiss that. So we finally finished the Siege of Moria. Now it's time to make peace. If Athens was not their vassal, you would have to make separate peace by going here and then to diplomacy and clicking sue for peace. But as the game tells you, we see that Athens is a vassal or a lesser partner and cannot sign a peace treaty. So we have to make peace with Byzantium. One thing to keep in mind when taking provinces at the end of the war is your aggressive expansion, which if it goes too high, will result in countries forming a coalition against you. And that is the main thing you want to avoid, because if countries get in a coalition against you, you're most likely very fucked. You can see whether countries get in a coalition by keeping your eye on this number, because if you take provinces, this number will increase. So taking Constantinople was obviously the goal, so let's just take this one. Let's just take Achaea, and it will say, oh, Byzantium will get in a coalition against you. Well, that's not really that big of a deal because Byzantium is really small, so yeah, let's just let them do that. Take this province. Still only Byzantium. Okay, nice. Let's just also take Athens, and if we do that, we have Wallachia who will join a coalition against me. Or, well, it doesn't mean it will, but it can. So Wallachia is this small country, and if only that country would get in a coalition against me, that wouldn't be that big of a problem. So we can just basically take everything they have and not really have that much repercussions. Always be sure to check your treaties to make sure if you can ask for anything else. That is in this case not possible because these countries will no longer exist after this war. Nothing here is possible, nothing here, and of course nothing here, but there is something possible here. We can let Byzantium revoke their core on Kirkilce. That basically means that if rebels were to rise up, so let's just say I take these provinces, the war is over, Byzantium does no longer exist, rebels could rise up, and if the rebels enforce their demands, Byzantium would re-exist in some sense, and then that Byzantium would have a claim on that province, so being able to declare war on me and saying, hey, I want that province back. And if you do this, they no longer have a core on that, so they no longer can reclaim it. They would have to build a spy network and then have a claim, and then they could take the province. Okay, let's just ask for a lot of extra cash. Very nice. They will accept it, send demands. Let 1 day pass, and hey, we won. Okay, so now there's one last very important thing after finishing this particular war. If you've played the tutorial, you'll know that you will have to make cores in the provinces you've just conquered. So you would be inclined to go here and make a core in Constantinople. But this is extremely costly, and there's a way to, only for this province, not be able to do this. If you go namely to missions, we have just fulfilled one, and if you complete this mission, I believe you will also get... no, sorry, I'm mistaken. You have to go to your decisions, and if you go to decisions, you can make Constantinople your capital. And if you do so, what happens? You get an automatic core on Constantinople, saving you 224 of your admin power, which is huge in this part of the game. So just go here, make Constantinople the capital, and we get one stability. And that's very nice. Of course, for the other provinces, you will still have to make cores. So let's just do that, because if you don't, you'll get overextension, and overextension increases your unrest, which is something you do not want. So we just won this war, but we were a bit stupid, and I forgot to use my ships in a nice way. So let's just increase our fleet again. You can see all the number of ships you have over here. So we have 2 light ships, 1 galley, and 10 merchant ships. As to which ships you should use, galleys are most effective in inland seas. So inland seas are over here, of course, in the Mediterranean. And I believe also in the Baltic Sea, so over here. So it is a very good idea to build a lot of galleys, which quite nicely are only 0.03 ducats per month. So we can just build a shit ton of these ships, and let's just... I think it's the best idea to build up to our force limit. So let's just build ships, and of course doing this again to be able to build multiple ships and being done after a year. And when building these ships, you have to keep an eye out for this number, because it cannot get higher than your force limit. I'm also not building up exactly to my force limit, because there are sometimes the limit goes down due to events, or something's happen, or buildings change, or something like that. So I'm just keeping it at 28. Also, if you're in a war, there's a chance that when you win a naval battle, you capture one of their ships, and that would also increase, of course, your limit. Okay, so why will keep getting interrupted? We can lose to corruption, but what is our corruption? It's 0. But Lima state. So the main problem with this decision is if you let your corruption increase, you will have to pay more money each month to reduce the corruption. So I'm thinking about picking this one, because if an asset has a loyalty higher than 40, there's basically nothing wrong. So you can let it drop to 40 and nothing bad will happen. So I'm just going to pick this one. And the consequence of tolerance of the true faith being lower is not really that big of a deal. So let's just pick this one. So while we are waiting for the course to build, let's just see if we have any other claims that we got from that mission, which I obviously still have to complete. So I have to click here and then click here. Now we got this. Oh, and we also completed Conquer Greece, which was probably just owning Athena. So now we get another lot of claims. Okay, click here again. So now we see we got a claim on all these provinces. We can easily visualize this by clicking here. So all the dashed provinces are provinces we have claims on. And most importantly, the most important province we have is this one, owned by Albania, because you can see it's dashed in green, and that means we have a core on it. So now you might wonder, how can we have a core on it if we don't actually have it? So how that works is if you build a core in this province, so let's just say I have this province, I have a core here, and let's just say Serbia, for some strange reason, declares war on me and takes this province. If Serbia is starting to build a core in this province, I will still have my core there. A core only disappears if you don't have that province for about 50 years or so. And if we have a core there and we do not own it, as is the case in Albania, then we can declare war, and it will. I will show you. It will only get us 25% aggressive expansion, which is really nice. And since we have a core, we do not have to spend admin power to core it. So let's consider if it is a good idea to attack Albania. We can see that his independence is guaranteed by Serbia and Venice. The main problem with Venice is that it has a kind of a big fleet. So I think we should be able to win that war, but let's just first increase our naval capacity. So I'm thinking, since I have a lot of claims also on Serbia, the ideal case for me would be to get in a war with both of them, but not having Serbia as a what's it called, a co-belligerent, I believe. Or not co-belligerent, will be not considered. Okay, so if he joins, he's not a co-belligerent, meaning that it's just helping out Albania. And if I take provinces from Serbia, then it would cost me a lot of aggressive expansion. But what you can do is you can check this box, and that will make it a co-belligerent, and that will basically have the normal costs for aggressive expansion. So I'm now trying to think of a construction that will let me be able to take back my core from Albania, and also be able to take provinces from Serbia. So I still have a truce until 1450, which is the reason why I cannot add them as a co-belligerent. So I think the best thing we should do here is just wait a year or two, increase our fleet, increase our army, and then just ready for war against Venice. And I think we'll do that in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time.